President Obama today is expected to address a new and vicious threat from ISIS. U.S. officials believe the Islamist terror group beheaded an American reporter, and a second American hostage could be next.
An online video from ISIS shows a man believed to be James Foley with his head cut off. A message in English appears saying the execution is in retaliation for U.S. airstrikes on ISIS forces in Iraq. Foley was captured in November 2012 while covering the civil war in Syria. A year earlier, he appeared on CBS talking about another kidnapping when he was detained for 45 days in Libya.
Foley's mother released a statement last night saying she has never been prouder of her son. And Diane Foley called on the kidnappers to release other hostages, saying, like Jim, they are innocents. They have no control over American government policy in Iraq, Syria, or anywhere in the world. CBS News senior security contributor Mike Morell is in Washington. He was deputy CIA director when Foley was taken. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Nora.
How do you think the U.S. will respond?
So I think what the ISIS is trying to do here, Nora, is intimidate the United States into backing off of the attacks that we've done the last several weeks. And I think our response should be, and our response will be, to not do that. In fact, we should pick up the pace here. The definition of terrorism, Nora, is political violence, violence for political effect. So we should mark this date down because this is ISIS's first terrorist attack against the United States.
Mike, you briefed President Bush after Daniel Pearl was murdered in 2002. What was his reaction at the time, and what are you expecting to hear from President Obama when he speaks today?
His reaction was what you would expect it to be. There was empathy for the family and friends of Daniel Pearl. There was disgust at the way the execution occurred. And there was reinforcement in his belief that the people we were dealing with were evil. And I wouldn't be surprised if President Obama reacts exactly the same way.
Mike, take us behind the scenes, since you've been in the national security apparatus, about what's going on, the decision making. If you look at this tape, we're not going to show it. It's far too gruesome. That's why we're just showing pictures. But there is that man in black on the tape. He speaks in English. Does that suggest there might be Westerners involved? What's the thinking behind the scenes?
Nora, we know that there are a large number of foreign fighters who have gone to Syria and who have joined the fight for ISIS. They are both in Syria and they're in Iraq. A number of those are Americans. A number of those are Europeans who have passports where they do not need visas to get to the United States. So this is the main danger that ISIS now poses to the United States. ISIS could send those individuals back to the United States to conduct attacks. That is the #1 thing we need to worry about.
And ISIS, Mike, says they're holding another American hostage. How does the U.S. handle that?
We need to keep moving forward with our policy. And I would suspect that ISIS may assassinate him. But we need to keep moving forward. We cannot let something like this stop us.
All right, Mike Morell, thank you so much.